What up, Winbush here. And if you ever had to take a texture from a high poly model onto a low poly model, like I do a lot of 3D scanning, right? And whenever you 3D scan, a lot of time your mesh come in really dense and then the UVs are all jacked up as well. And so it's not really ideal for if you need to make assets for like video games or even doing any type of rendering. But with this technique, I'm going to show you inside of Cinema 4D, you could take your cleaned up low poly model and you could take your texture from your high poly model and just have it transfer over. And then from there, you can manipulate your texture any way that you want. Like I like using Topaz Gigapixel, which I'll show you here at the end just as an example. But without further ado, let's jump right into it. Now, I'm not sure if I did a good job explaining this at the top. Sometimes just showing is better than explaining. So this is my 3D scan that I did, right? Like my buddy Jags, he baked some sourdough. And let's look at the polygons. So I'm going to come down here and you can see that the mesh is really super dense. And then if I look over here, this is me bringing it into Substance Modeler. I cleaned it up. We have a less dense model in here. And this is more ideal for if we want to put it into like a video game or even use it in some type of render. And then even if I look at the UVs that I brought in from the 3D scan, like you can't really manipulate this at all. So if I wanted to go through and make this even higher resolution or even, paint on it inside a Substance Painter or anything, this isn't going to be ideal. And so what we're going to do is transfer a texture from a high poly model onto our low poly model. And then this will also fix the UV textures for us as well. So I'm going to take my low poly model and I'm just going to probably name this one low poly. And before I start, I want to give a big shout out to RocketLasso because I did get this technique from one of his tutorials, but that tutorial is like over an hour long. And this is just a small snippet of what he was showing in his overall picture. So I'll leave a link to that tutorial in the description if you want to check that one out in all its glory. And then I'm going to name this one high poly. And then I'm just going to zero this out so everything aligns up. And then from here, we're going to take our low poly model. I'm just going to hold down the control key, left click and drag. And this is going to be our duplicate, which I'm just going to name this one dupe because we're going to manipulate the original one here. So I'm just going to hide this one, hold down the Alt key, left click twice, and that's going to hide that one right there. And then also you want to make sure that we're using standard materials. So I'm going to come down here in the standard. So I'm going to make a standard material real quick. And we're just going to have it inside of our color node. So now I have my scanned UVs inside of my texture here. I'm just going to put this onto my high poly. And there we go. So now we have our texture on our high poly model like we need. So the next step from here is I'm going to bring my low poly model back into my scene. And we're going to need to make sure that our low poly model totally engulfs our original model here, because what we're going to do is we're going to make a reflective material. And then it's pretty much going to beam it onto our low poly model. And that's going to give us the UV that we need that we can then put onto our duplicate. So let's start by making that material. I'm going to double click here inside my materials panel. And I'm just going to name this one reflection. And then I'm going to double click on it. And inside my materials editor, I'm going to turn off color. I'm going to come down here into reflectance. And I'm going to remove this one right here where it says default specular. Remove this. And then we're just going to add a GGX. And we're going to bring our roughness down to 0 because we want to make sure this is as reflective as it could be. So now I'm going to exit this out. And I'm going to put this onto my low poly model like so. And now we need to make sure that we engulf our entire high poly model. So we're going to come up here at the top where it says polygons. We're going to left click on this. Then we're going to come over here to select. And then we're going to come down here and select all. So what we want to do is we want to take our polys right here and we're just going to click and drag them over to make sure we engulf our entire scene. So let me actually, or not our entire scene, but our entire mesh. So I'm going to zoom in here a little bit more. So I'm going to just go somewhere blank inside of my viewport. I'm going to right click and then I'm going to come down here to where it says normal transform. And you think that we want to use scale, right? But we actually want to click on move. And now when I just left click inside my viewport and I just drag over to the right, you can see that my model is just going to expand. Now, if I did scale, it wouldn't expand the same way and it would just make it a little bit more funky. But if we look around, it looks like this one is engulfing our original mesh there pretty well. So I can click and drag it a little bit more. There we go. So now that we have that set up, what we're going to do, and let's look at it first. So if I look, you can see that we have like this Silver Surfer mesh just totally engulfing our high poly mesh. So what we want to do now is we want to reverse the normals because like I said, we want to try to beam our original texture onto this like reflective texture here. So it's all going to make sense here in a minute. So we're going to go back over here into the polygons and then I'm going to right click inside my viewport. And then I'm going to come down here at the very bottom where it says reverse normals. So once I left click on this, now this is going to look bluish. And that means that our normals are inverted. So now we can come back over here in the regular model mode. And with our low poly reflective silver surfer model still here selected, I want to come over here to tags, and we're going to look for a baked texture, which is under material tags. So it's actually called baked material. We're going to left click on this. And before we get this set up, we actually need to set up a light here as well. So I'm going to come down here to our light. I'm just going to left click on this. And then I'm going to make sure my light is in direct center. And I'm going to come, let me actually undock my attributes so we can see it better. So I'm going to drag it here. So of course we want to make sure our light is directly in the center. I'm going to come over here to general, and we're going to add ambient illumination. And let me actually hide my reflective mesh here just so we can see what's happening. So when I turn it off, you can see that we have our lighting. It's going to be, you know, how you normally think of lighting, right? Like we have our light up here, it's shining down, you have your shadows and everything. But when we zero it out and then we hit ambient illumination, what we're doing is we're getting rid of all the shadows, so everything is as flat as possible. So we just want our flat material to bake onto our new material. So that's why we're adding that there. So let me move this back over, and I'm going to bring back in my reflective low poly mesh here. And now I'm going to click on my bake material tag, and now we can set this up properly. So for format, you could do any format you want. I'm just going to go with PNG here, but for color depth, I am going to take this up to 16. Now for width and height, you probably want to go around 4K. You could go larger if you want, but 4K should be significant enough. So I'm going to do 4096 by 4096. And for super sampling, we don't have to go too high. You could just do 1. And then for pixel border, it's nice to have a little bit of a pixel border on here for when it transfers over. So typically I do anywhere between 10 and 20, but you can just experiment to see what's good for you. Now let's click over on our options tag here. And inside of here, we want to look for a reflection. So that's going to be all the way down here in the bottom right hand corner. We're going to left click on this, and then we're just going to hit preview and just make sure everything that we have is set up. So when you hit preview, as long as you see something inside of here, that means that everything is set up correctly. So next thing from here is all you have to do is hit bake. But before you do that, go back to tag and then file name, and just make sure you save it somewhere. So I'm going to save mine to my desktop, in which I named mine tutorial texture and saved it to the desktop. Now I'm going to come back over here under options, and I'm going to click on bake. And depending on your computer specs, this could go pretty fast, but you can see now we're getting proper UVs inside of here. And that just took a couple of seconds. If you look down the bottom left, it would actually tell you how fast that took. So for me, it took about 9 seconds. So I could come over here. Let's open up our materials. We're just going to make a new material real quick. So I'm just going to name this one tutorial. And we're going to put this into the color channel. So this is my desktop right here. I just have this material that we just got done baking out. So I'm going to left click and drag it into my texture node here. And then I can close out my material editor. And then I'm just going to hide my high poly and my low poly reflective. And I'm just going to bring in the duplicate one that I had. And then I'm going to turn off the light as well. And we're going to take the texture that we just made, this one that I call tutorial, left click and drag it onto my duplicate. And it might look a little bit funky. So that's what the textural border was. That's why I said you need to experiment with it. But we're also looking at it at a very low resolution. So if I have my material selected in here, if I come down here to my attributes panel under viewport where it says texture preview size under default, let's put it up to 4K. And that should snap everything back into place. So now you can see we transferred it onto our low poly model. So if I come back up here, let's look at our polygons. You can see that this is the nice low poly one compared to the high poly one. So I'm just going to drag this out so we can see better. And there we go. So now you can see that we now have our high poly model and a low poly model inside of Cinema 4D. And for those curious, this is the UV map that it automatically created for us. And so you might see that there are some discrepancies in there, like where it's black. So you could bring this into like Photoshop or something and definitely paint over this to fix it up. And at the end of the day, this is the type of results that you could get. So this is a different 3D scan that I get for like this teriyaki fish that I got from the Japanese market. So this is going to be the high poly. This is going to be the low poly. If I come up here, let's look at the polygons. You can see how dense this 3D scan was compared to the one that I cleaned up inside of Substance Modeler. But you might notice that the textures look totally different, right? And that's because I use Topaz Gigapixel, in which you can upres any textures that you want. I'll do another tutorial on that, but this is just an example of how you can fix up some of your textures using that technique and then just going through and cleaning it up even more. But if we look, this is the same exact technique that I use for this 3D scan as well. I have I call it the Silver Surfer because it's highly reflective, but I have a Silver Surfer low poly model that just engulfed my original one there. And then at the end of the day, was able to bring it in a Topaz Gigapixel and clean it up. And this looks exactly how my original item looked when I had it in real life before I ate it. So honestly, I did this tutorial for me because this is something that I use a lot when I'm doing my 3D scans. In fact, I'm going to be giving away some of my 3D scans here in the future, so make sure you check out for that. And then once again, big shout out to RocketLasso. He did give me the blessings to do this tutorial a while back. I just got around to it right now, but make sure you follow RocketLasso as well. Give him a comment on his videos and just show him a ton of support because he's a really great guy. So once again, my name is Jonathan Winbush, and until next time, stay fresh, keep creating, and I'll catch you in the next video. I'll see you soon. Take care.